Right, guys, welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Podcast. We have two lovely guests with us tonight. We're going to have an amazing show. Let's get it.
Yo, how y'all doing? It's a Friday. If y'all didn't go watch the day show with my boy Money Matt, you need to go watch it. 7-figure Friday. He was dropping knowledge. I was very, very silent. I was trying to soak up all of that wisdom he was dropping on me. Man, it was amazing. And I'm happy to be here right now. This beautiful, beautiful Miami view, Miami vibe.
We out here.
All right, we got two lovely guests with us today. I'm going to let you start off by introducing yourself, and then we'll go back to Matt.
Okay. My name is Shayla. I am 28 years old. I'm Cuban. I've lived in Miami my whole life. I own a dog walking and pet sitting business with a friend of mine, and I'm a personal trainer. And I'm excited to be here.
Damn, you own all that?
Yeah, I do a lot.
Nice. Okay. And I'll let you introduce, for the people that didn't watch today's show, I'll let him introduce himself all over again.
My name is Matt Petruso, and I fell into some hard times and had to start knocking on doors, and now I get to live however I want.
Yeah, guys, for those that didn't watch the daytime show, he's a really big entrepreneur, and he was dropping some gems earlier. So today we're going to talk about I actually had a lot of people that sent me videos, but I didn't get a chance to give them to Anwar. But we're going to talk about relationships today. And it's cool if we touch on anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, cool. You had a question you wanted to ask?
Y'all already know my startup question. How many dicks have you sucked?
Absolutely not. I'm going to pass that to Money Matt. My question's for you.
0.
Nah, but
yeah, I would expect that answer from you, Matt.
Yeah.
Well, I hope.
Yeah, no cap in there.
No cap in his rap.
Yeah, so guys, what do you guys think about the whole Kanye West thing where he had to pay $200K a month for his kids?
Okay. So it's a little tricky, right? Because I think a lot of people are tempted to say, well, she can afford it, so why should he have to give her money?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I agree. I'm just going to say that. I don't think she needs the money. And I don't think in a lot of cases, a lot of people need the money, right? But if there was a way to prove that that money was going to his kids only, why should it not? Is my opinion.
I'm pretty sure the money is going to his kids.
I know.
You go to expensive school, the security, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct. So I think that, yes, sure.
I feel like $200K is actually pretty cheap.
I was going to say, because they're pretty rich.
Only for because the school they go to and then the security team,
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that the government told him he had.
I agree with that.
He's a grown man. He take care of his kids by himself.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if he doesn't, right, he's got everybody, the whole society to judge him as a man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's on him.
Right.
The government shouldn't have to step in and say, you got to do this. No, take care of your kids. It's all good. But to tell them there's a specific amount that your kids are worth.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Government. Whack.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I feel the same way. I feel like when a government steps in and tells you, you almost don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like, but I understand why the government does have to do it because a lot of dads don't do it.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
But I think Kanye loves his kids, so I think he would have done it regardless. And yeah, I don't agree with that. $200K, for him, it may not be a lot, but I still think his kids probably don't need $200K a month. Maybe $100K a month. But yeah,
100K.
Yeah.
100K
Maybe
is okay.
100K.
I mean, what type of schools are they going to where they need $200K?
I don't know that much
But
about.
I know security actually costs a lot.
Yeah, it's all for the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would keep those kids at home then.
Yeah, personally, me, like my kids, they got to get through the mud, bro. I ain't.
I mean, I don't think anything good happens from kids just being completely sheltered and, funneled that type of money. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So how's dating for you guys in Miami?
Thankfully, I don't date.
You don't date?
No, I have a boyfriend. I've been with him for 6 years.
Okay.
Great.
So there's no dating for me, and it's going great.
That's good.
6 years?
6.
You guys haven't hit like a rocky stretch yet?
Oh yeah,
You have?
a bunch of times.
Okay.
Everybody does, I think.
And how do you deal with it?
We talk a lot.
So communication, that's like the key part of
Yeah, and
any
everybody
relationship?
says that, but it's like it's hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like unwanted conversations,
Yeah.
and it's hard conversations, and it's things you don't want to hear, and it's things you don't want to say. And I honestly, I can say 6, almost 7 years in, we're finally at the point now that we can speak to each other without feeling any type of way first.
Yep.
Listen, and then come to a solution instead of just reacting, going back and forth, da 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 da, with all that stuff, because that happens to a lot of people.
How are you, as a beautiful woman in Miami, able to stay faithful to your man? Because I know like that's a difficult thing now in Miami with a lot of women.
You
Good
know,
question.
It's actually not hard for me because I'm very picky and
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of people.
Mhm.
So I'm the type of person that I just like go to work, go wherever I'm going and do my thing. I have my headphones on. I don't really interact with people that way.
So you don't go to a club?
So it's no, never actually. I've been
Okay.
to a club one time
Mhm.
and it was with my boyfriend and it was years ago and that was it.
W.
No,
Wait, you've only gone to the club one time
One
since you
time.
lived there?
yeah, one time. And I lived here my whole life.
And he was
Wow.
with your man.
What club was that?
Space.
That
Right
thing
down the
was-
road.
It was Space on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that thing probably scared you, huh?
It was not. It was not.
That's like the kid smoking a cigarette, and then they make you smoke a pack of cigarettes
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm never doing this
Yeah,
again."
yeah.
It was
Okay,
weird
cool.
for sure. So
And so what about you? How's dating for you?
Yeah. So if you listened to the podcast earlier, I was in basically 2 really long relationships. I was in a 10-year relationship in my 20s and then a 5-year relationship in my 30s. And just recently became single again. And I think it was just a part of growing that, eventually you find yourself heading in a certain direction and it's not in alignment with somebody else. You just part ways. It's okay, and it is what it is, right? So I'm still new to the game of the whole single.
Gotcha.
And what do you look for in a woman? Because now you're at this high level. How do
Yeah.
you see who really wants you for you and wants you for your money?
Mhm.
Right. So that's kind of a difficult thing, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't mind the fact that they want to be provided for.
Mhm.
Like, that's okay. I want to be that person to
Mhm.
provide a good life. But when the value exchange is no longer on even, keel, then you start to resent the other person. Right. So all I really want, is I want to go to fight my battles. I want to do the things that I want to do. And I want to come home to a peaceful environment.
Mhm.
Right. Like if I go and I want to, if I provide all the expenses, I provide all the things that provide the travel, I provide the life. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with doing that. I don't like say it's wrong or bad. Like I just want to do that. That's who I am. But when I come home, if I feel like I'm not respected and appreciated for what I have provided, and I'm now fighting a second war, right? I'm in battle all day. I just want to come home to peace, right?
Yeah.
Like that is what the feminine energy is for. And if the feminine energy is off, fighting other battles and then trying to bring me into the other battles, it's just like it's no longer an even exchange of value, in my opinion,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah. You said as long as the value exchange is the same. How can a girl give you value if she's not doing anything financial?
Oh, financial. Like I don't want any. I mean, I don't need anything financially
Mhm.
from my woman.
So
right?
just her, what, like taking care of home, cooking, cleaning,
Just the peace,
being the
right?
peace.
Bring the feminine, right? Like I'm okay with doing those things.
So you're providing financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and all you want in return is peace.
Not just peace, right? Like you want peace, you want fun, you want joy, you want beauty, love, like
Peace and good sex, right?
of course, right?
Definitely good say.
That sounds like a good deal though for women,
I
Right?
would think so, right? Yeah.
but a lot of them still aren't happy.
I'm not in their head. I don't know. I haven't figured it out.
And at the point you are right now, you also want other women, correct?
I like girls that like
Nervous.
girls. If they like a girl and they want to bring their, but I want to have. I mean, I do want to have that one, right?
Yeah, of
main
course,
one.
of course.
But if she's all right with, having another girl, that's the kind of girl I kind of like.
Mhm.
you
And
know?
if she isn't, is that like,
I mean, that's probably not the girl.
is
Now,
that a non-negotiable?
at this point in my life, I just don't think that's somebody that
Yeah.
I know that variety is just
Yeah.
that is one of my main things. And I'd rather share it with somebody that I truly care.
Yeah.
with, right. So if it's not there, it's probably it is a non-negotiable.
So you've worked
right?
really hard to get to where you're at, right? You're successful. You have your own businesses and stuff like that. So what do you say to a woman that you really like you just said, you rather share it with someone than two random strangers, right?
Yeah.
So what do you say to a woman that, that likes you and you like her back, but you're like, hey, I still want to have some fun. And she's like, no. Well, what do you say to that?
At the end of the day, it's like I put myself in a position where I can be a little choosier, right? And at the end of the day, if you can either swim upstream and try and force somebody to like something that you like, or you find somebody that likes something that you like, right? Like I learned that the hard way, right? Like if you want something, don't try and force somebody to do something they don't like and change the way that they believe the world should be. Find somebody that has a belief and then can justify it through the life that you're living, right? So there's people out there that connect with everybody in a different way. So everybody has a little different belief, but why try and change somebody else's belief?
Yeah.
And how would you explain that to her?
But I don't want to explain. Like that's the whole point.
You want her to just
So you're like, get the fuck out?
No. It's like at the end of the day, it's like I'm gonna be upfront at the get-go, right? So it won't get to that point. You know what I mean? Like that's where, as a man, you like a lot of younger guys say this, but like, well, you don't. Why would you deserve that type of choice?
Yeah.
You don't deserve it yet. Like I had to suffer for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now I'm okay. But now I'm also okay being alone.
Yeah.
Right. Until that person comes around.
15 years.
Right.
Holy shit. What about you? What would you say to your boyfriend if he comes up and says, hey, I want to spice things up a little bit?
Well, okay. First of all, my boyfriend at this point in our relationship, that might not be okay with me because we've built what we have together. So he didn't come in with a lot of assets to give me. But if I was in that position and I was with somebody that came out the gate and was like, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I have to offer, I might be okay with it. But that's a totally different dynamic.
My question to you would be, doesn't a relationship have to evolve?
Yes, it does. But I think my relationship right now, I would not be okay with that. So for me, I would be like, I don't.
So what happened if he hit you with that? He was like, oh, wait, we're supposed to get better and better. I want to evolve. I want to hit this. I want to do this. That guy's doing that. So why can't I do
what
this?
you want to do, but it's not going to be with me. And I have the same choice as anybody else does. If that's something that I'm not interested in doing with this particular partner, then that's not what we do.
Wait, but you said something very, very specific. You said that he didn't come in with that. So because you were a part of what you guys have now, you don't think he deserves it?
I don't think it's about deserving. I think it's about when you build a relationship with someone, you kind of set up, I always say like patterns, right? Of communication, patterns of like the way you do things, the interactions that you have. And I think something like that could break a relationship very easily. And if you've never built that pattern from the beginning and it's not something that you're comfortable with your partner initially, just to introduce it, even if it's 6 years later, it could break it.
I want to interject because it's true. No, but it's like, I'm going to say it's true because that's where it starts to be like you as the man at the beginning of the relationship needs to set a proper frame. Right. If the frame is incongruent with what you actually want, which that's why my relationship ended, because I was not confident of the man who I was. So I was afraid of the loss. So I didn't say what I actually wanted at the beginning. And then when I tried to change the frame, even though the life that I was providing was already, pretty significant for that type of, person, it was too much. When I tried to change the frame and say, hey, this is actually the life that I want to live, it was not okay.
It almost feels like a betrayal to a woman, right? I don't know how it feels to men. Let's say, I don't know how it would feel if now I would be like, hey, I want to do this with some other dude or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So
that's different though.
But yeah, it is because men and women are different.
I agree. I understand. But you know what I mean? If somebody comes out of what it seems to be the blue to you because you haven't experienced it, you haven't heard it, you're not used to it with something so monumental, it feels like, okay, hold on. So were you faking it? So who are you? So
Yeah.
do I know this? So those thoughts, whether or not you are in a secure place, those thoughts creep into your mind.
Yeah.
And that's just the human condition. I
What
don't know
happened
why.
if he had sat you down and was like, I really want to have a conversation about this. Can we please communicate about it?
Maybe. I can't say no because I'm not there and I'm not
you're
black or
that-
white.
yeah, I
but
understand.
it depends on the approach.
Like if he came at some on a respectful manner, if he
Maybe
wasn't,
I would
if he
hear
was
him out.
disrespectfully like, oh, no, I'm about to go sleep with this girl because I'm like this.
Well, come on, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
He'd be like, nah, he'd be like, fuck that.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't hear him out. What I'm saying is me seeing my relationship the way that it is. If I said yes, number one, it would be only because he wanted to, and it might make it crumble. I could see it because we didn't start that way. So for me, right now in this moment, as you're asking me, my reaction is this: I don't know how it would go.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you brought a girl home and was like, shit, let's do it.
I'm sure he would be fine. I wouldn't have to introduce anything. I wouldn't have to sit down anybody. I know how this works. Okay,
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
I could bring anybody home and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a problem. But
Yeah, I understand.
So, question for you: when you were in your relationship, that was a long-term relationship, right? You weren't always successful like you are now, right? But then when you got there, you wanted to have those options, and your girlfriend was like, "Hey, when we met, you didn't set the standard, and even though you've managed to become successful, I still don't want to honor that for you." Correct?
The second relationship, I was already established.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But did you set the ground rules
no,
for that?
I didn't. So that's the difference. So like I was maybe, successful in one area, but I
Mhm.
didn't have a successful mindset to say and be comfortable enough to tell my truth, right? Speak the truth of just, or I genuinely, like, as you grow older, you kind of know what's a negotiable, non-negotiable in your life. And I just don't want to be a person that lies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at one point, maybe in your 20s, you're like, I can lie to myself, I can lie to other people, and I can kind of sweep things under the rug. But at some point, like if you sweep things under the rug for too long, the resentment comes, and then you start resenting somebody else for something that they don't even know, right? Like, and that's why I say, like, I take responsibility for everything. Like my relationship failed because of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If I didn't set the proper frame, I didn't speak my truth properly from the get-go, it's on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The girls, they didn't do anything. But here's the thing. At the time, my first relationship, I resented her because I couldn't communicate what I wanted.
Gotcha.
Right. And I'm like, I'm not getting what I want. Like, well, you're not even speaking it to her.
Mhm.
How the hell do you, like, you're expecting somebody to know what you want. You're not even telling her.
Right.
So, but you figure it out as you go, hopefully.
Gotcha. So it's a touchy subject right here, but how do you guys feel about cheating? Are you guys able to forgive cheating? Are you guys able to move forward from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a female thing that makes it easier. But for me, again, I'm just not black and white. You know what I mean? If you have a relationship with someone and something like that happens, a discrepancy happens, you have to think about the value of the relationship to you versus what happened.
And also, he has to probably be honest with it.
Correct.
You can't come to him and be
Correct.
like, I know you did this.
And
no.
Right.
No. And then, oh, what happened? What's this though? What's
exactly.
this?
Gotcha.
Exactly.
But so you're willing to forgive and forget?
Yeah.
Are you really gonna forget?
I mean, I don't think you forget, but I think you can forgive.
You're gonna throw it back at him though, like every now and then?
Listen, I'm Cuban. I might.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I might, but I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Because you can't hold on to stuff forever. I mean, you can, but you're gonna be miserable because the other person, you say, I forgive you. The other person says, okay, thank God. So they move on. And then you're the only one that's harboring that stuff. So who's really losing? You know what I mean? It's just you.
What about you? What do you think about that?
I think it comes down to respect, right? And just respect as a person. And I think men and women, we want respect from our peers, right? The people that we care about in our lives. And you don't want to do it in a disrespectful way to like, hey, I'm shoving it in, my girl's face that I'm, and her friends that like, they know that I'm just like doing shady shit behind her back, right? She doesn't want to feel like that, right?
Yeah.
But also if you do it in a respectful way, I don't think that would affect the relationship dynamic that way. Same vice versa. Well, men, you don't really respect a man whose woman does not respect him enough to be loyal and faithful to them. So it's a completely different thing. So it comes down to the respect of the peers that we care about. And, if a woman cheats on a man and you're met and obviously like the hurt deeply because he now feels like he's going to lose respect from all of his peers, right? And
Agreed.
that is so detrimental to the entire relationship at a whole. It's a completely different dynamic. So as a man, you don't want to disrespect the woman, just blatantly like out here, just, making her feel like she's not worthy of being, your number one. So be respectful of that. And I think everything's okay. But on the vice versa side, it's like, there's no possible way a man could feel respected being cheated on from a girl. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I think the biggest thing that, women say when guys do it is that they don't want to feel embarrassed. But I don't think the embarrassment is the same for men and women.
I agree with that.
Can I ask you a question? Which would be worse? You catching your girl sucking a guy's dick or like her fucking getting fucked? Which one is worse? I mean, both are bad, but
either way, at the end of the day, I'm at a point in my life where it just is what it is. If I saw it, I'd say okay.
I mean, yeah,
I'd say
draft,
no.
yeah,
I'd
draft either way. Yeah.
Either way, it's just like I'm at a point where it is what it is. You're gonna do it either way. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like it's just done. Like we're just not talking ever again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that. It's like either one. It doesn't.
But what
matter.
would hurt more? Like
what would hurt more? I don't know.
I don't know. Personally, if I catch my girl sucking a nigga's dick, that shit's trash. Whoa, it's up in there.
So are
It's
you
going
saying
crazy.
that you're actually willing to forgive it if she's
No,
not
hell
doing
no.
it?
It's not. It's not. Nah.
So
So
I
you
We ain't
you
forgiving-
join in if they're having
Yeah.
sex. What are you doing?
No,
there,
no,
bro?
no, no,
Bro, what are you
no.
saying, bro?
We're
Yeah.
not forgiving either way, but I'm pissed. I'm like fuming more if I catch her sucking a guy's dick
That would hurt more.
because she's not gaining anything. She's just
Yeah.
pleasing another guy. At least, but I say at least, but I still wouldn't like accept it. At least when she's getting fucked, she's getting some type of pleasure with
Yeah.
it.
So
I just would. I don't know.
Like sucking a guy's dick is out of spite.
Alright,
Bro.
can you
That
get-
is spite, man.
for the women that don't understand that, what do you mean that she's not gaining anything? Can you explain that?
She's not getting any pleasure from it, like sucking a guy's dick.
Well,
like,
a lot of women would say that they get pleasure from
what?
doing
No,
It's a
no, they
it's
get
not
pleasure.
pleasure.
I'm telling you, some women have
No,
said
they get pleasure out of seeing the guy being happy.
Right.
correct. That's what they say though.
yeah, but I know what he means. No physical pleasure. Like you're not
Yeah,
actually
like-
feeling any
But-
type of thing.
But like, why do you care that you're getting physical pleasure?
Mhm.
I would just be at a point in my life where I'm just like, I'm not mad at it at all.
Mhm.
I'm like, all right,
Bye.
you just showed me who you are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Blessing in disguise almost, right?
I'd be more upset period because like how did I not see that red flag? Like
Yeah. I'd be upset at myself.
like
Yeah.
you just going
I
around
would
sucking
too.
dick?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
A question for you. So you said you understood that the embarrassment isn't the same for men and women. Can you tell me a little bit about what you mean by that?
Oh yeah, I think it
Because
has-
it's really rare to hear a woman say that.
Yeah, to have that perspective.
So I have to say a lot of that is because of my boyfriend and the type of person that he is. Because at the beginning of our relationship, I didn't have that perspective at all. At the beginning of the relationship, I was very much, well, first of all, I was 20 and I thought I was like invincible and this super, I can do anything men can do thing. Right. So I've grown up a lot since then and we've gone through a lot of situations. And I just understand now that men have a different level of pride. It's a different level of ego. It's a different level of expectation of respect because of the roles that
Mhm.
they play in
Yeah.
society and relationships and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I understand that it's the embarrassment is not the same, you know,
Right.
where a girl can get cheated on and like go cry to her friends and like everybody kind of just goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She stays with him and it's fine. A guy's not going to go and do that, you know,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
But that's
true.
actually very, very
You're
true,
gonna
man.
come to your friends and, oh
It's
my
right.
girl, I caught my girl sucking dick or
Yeah,
whatever.
like,
Your
it'd be-
friend
that'd be
and your
right.
friends are gonna be like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You know
like,
what
Yeah.
I mean?
bro, you need to cut that off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If I
100%.
see you still be with that girl, I'm losing respect for
Right.
you now.
Exactly. And that's what
That's
he
the
was
thing.
talking about,
Yeah.
the respect from your peers. So yeah.
So what would you say? Okay, so you basically just explained it though. Okay,
Mhm.
and you said it. Your man actually helped you understand that, right?
Yeah. And it took a lot of fighting. Like
Yeah.
I was not
You. I don't want to offend you, but
No.
you seem like a very strong character. So
oh, I am.
you at first I feel like you kind of give me the vibes of like you used to be on a stance of like men and women are the same,
Absolutely.
right? We're the same. It's the same thing. You can't cheat on me because it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, I feel it the same way, but it's
Absolutely.
really not.
it's not at all.
And I find it when women say it is, I'm like,
no.
I'm not trying to like undermine your pain because
No, no.
I know I'm saying in general, right? Women, I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt women when they get cheated on, but for instance, for me as a man, I'm like, damn, bro, like it feels like I failed in society. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think like if you really want to get crazy with it, it's biological. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can get pregnant by one man at a time.
Yeah.
You can get how many women pregnant that you want. You know, if you
Thank
really
you.
think about it like that, it's like
Yeah.
men were kind of meant to do biologically different things than
Yeah.
women
Yeah,
were.
exactly.
So it goes into the way you think, how you feel, how you process emotion. I think any woman that and it's a pride thing for women too, because they want to hold on to that
Yeah.
thing. Like I can do anything a man can do.
Right,
That.
right, right.
Okay, you can try, yes, but there's biological differences, and there always will be,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And when did you personally get this realization of it?
It took a lot of fighting. I'm telling
with
you.
your man?
Yes,
Okay.
because he was like, "No, this is not. You don't understand." And I was like, "No, you don't understand." And it just took
Yeah.
years. And I got older,
Yeah.
you know.
But
And
here's the thing though, right? Let's say your guy does sleep around with one woman, right?
Mhm.
You run into them at I don't know, Moxie's or something in Brickell, right? It's not the same as if you do it and he runs into that guy.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
I agree.
So
It's totally not.
and but women don't understand that, unfortunately.
I mean, because it's hard too. And a woman, a strong woman, and I consider myself a strong woman, okay, is not going to come on here and admit that she would forgive her man for cheating on her
Mhm.
because it makes you look weak and it
Yeah.
makes you look dumb.
Yep.
And it's the same thing about respect from your peers. Although your peers, female peers, forget a lot faster than men,
Mhm.
obviously. But you're not going to come on here and say it. You're not going to admit it because
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable and it's embarrassing and it makes you look weak.
Yeah.
But you're
You know?
not insecure about yourself. You
Yeah.
don't have any
No.
insecurities. So I think that's
No,
what
I
you
have
to-
insecurities. Don't.
No,
Everybody
Well,
has
not-
insecurities,
obviously,
but
yeah, obviously.
But yeah,
it's-
no, not about that.
But you're strong in the relationship you have.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can I can tell that the man that you're with is obviously strong enough as a man to have the courage and the communication ability to kind of show who he is
Yeah.
in a true fashion, right? And I'm sure, like, how old was he when you guys started dating? You said you were 20.
Oh my God, I was 21. He's older than me, like 5 years older. 25 or 26, something.
So it's okay. So he has a couple years of kind of wisdom, just
Mhm.
from being in that life, right?
Mhm.
So he was able to communicate a little bit better,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean, that is that takes a strong man to be able to communicate that properly, and that's why I think a lot of this stuff that's happening, I don't ever put the blame on women, right? Like the blame should come from the weak men that don't have the courage to stand up for their own thing because they're afraid they're going to lose what, they're basically living in scarcity, right? You live in this position of like, I'm going to lose. So I'm going to fake who I am to make you feel better.
I mean, I do see what you're saying. Women are not innocent in it, and there's a lot of misrepresentation of what females need to be today,
Yeah.
what they should be, what they should act like, what they should be doing, especially here in Miami. And like really young women. And it's like these expectations make girls do things and throw away a lot of relationships that could have otherwise worked out because of things that they need to show off or pretend to be.
Mhm.
And I think that that's the difference. Like somewhere along the way, we lost the grit of trying to make a partnership work with another human being and knowing that there are certain things that are not okay, but there are certain things that you have to just kind of learn to deal with together and not just be like, you know what, peace out. I'm a bad bitch. I'm going to go do whatever. I don't know. That got crazy.
Yeah.
Recent.
I think the problem is it's the short term, mindset. It's like, okay, for the time being, I'm just going to do this, and this, but you don't see the long term, actual, consequences of how living that way will get you,
Mhm.
and I see this because like I said, I since I was 22 years old, I've been, dealing with senior citizens,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I can unequivocally tell you the difference between a happy, fulfilled woman and a happy, fulfilled man. They talked about different things.
Yeah.
They went different paths. So like the happy, the fulfilled men, they would speak about being a part of something and building something and growing something, whether it's a business or, whatever, like, or they are the owners, they were part of something that they built and grew, right? And
Mhm.
were able to provide, right? That's what they were most pleasurable, fulfilled experience was talking about that. The women, on the other hand, they talked about their family.
Absolutely.
And if you go down this path and then all of a sudden, you're 35, 40 years old and you don't have children, and you said, well, I don't need it because I'm this bad bitch or whatever it may be, it's okay. But like, just look back at yourself at 60, 65, 70 years old, and you have what to accomplish. Like, what have you accomplished?
Right.
And are you going to be happy about the things that you created? That's not, I just don't think that that's part of your biological need.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I've talked to many, many women that like I said, I have older clienteles, and I had a couple that are they were part of like the feminine, march. Right. And I kind of talked to them and I asked them a few things about that. And they were like, I just wish I was a little bit more open to the idea that I was not right. And I was like, oh, like what? Because, they were like, well, the time that I kind of started realizing that I maybe wanted a family and things like that, it was too late, and they're like, well, now I'm, I don't have any kids, I'm 65 years old and I don't really have anybody. Like, when I'm like this was sad. Like, I was talking about life insurance with them. They're like, well, I don't really have anything to leave. Who am I?
It's a little depressing.
Yeah.
Even though I'm very knowledgeable on these things, every time you talk, it's like I see it through a different perspective, through a new set of eyes.
Yeah, when you talk to a lot of people, especially people that have lived a long life,
older people,
you see a lot of things that could have went a different way, and you just kind of take pieces and say, hey, how can I implement this in my life to not end up that way? And you try and figure out, nobody knows exactly how to navigate this world, but communication, living your truth, is probably one of the ways that will guarantee it's at least a better shot.
Yeah. Anwar, do me a favor, read some of the questions that the chat has for the guests.
All right, so David Jones has a question, red pill question for the ladies. Lady, which is more powerful, using sex to extract resources from men or preserving yourself to attract high value men?
High value men, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I think that using your so every woman has that charm, that female power, whatever. You can use that to like get out of a parking ticket or something. But if you really want to live like a next level life, either you find a high value man and you build together, or you wait until you find somebody of high value and then you go from there.
Can you define what a high value man is to you?
A high value man to me, somebody that is emotionally secure, somebody that is communicative, somebody that is driven, and at the very least trying to build something.
Ambitious.
Right. Absolutely. Family oriented.
Quick question. What's emotionally secure?
Emotionally secure is like not popping off for any little reason, willing to hear somebody out and talk about the problem instead of just reacting. So responsive rather than reactive. Somebody like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Any other questions, bro?
Yeah, we got a couple more. Alexander says, my question to the guests: why do they think Andrew Tate exploded in popularity with young men so strongly?
Actually, I was talking to Money Matt outside. He has a very good perspective on this. Would you mind touching on it a little bit?
I mean, the Tates are very, very intelligent, but they also understand just how to polarize a specific demographic, which is very good in the sense to get attention, right? And attention is currency. And if you genuinely believe that you have a message that can benefit, the people you're trying to talk to, then you're going to say things that are very polarizing to grab the eyeballs. And the ones that you want to help and the ones that are even open to being helped will see deeper than the surface level content. And then they'll figure out, okay, well, I see this thing, but I know what they're trying to say. It's a little bit deeper than this. And how can I go deeper? How can I not just accept what is told to me at the surface level? How can I go deeper? And I think they're very, very good at triggering at least that initial spark, right? And for men, if you've never had that spark triggered, maybe you didn't have somebody like that in your life that actually gave you the power to believe that you could actually achieve something for yourself and be something of value, then yeah, that's going to trigger a lot of emotion from a lot of young men. And if that allows the message to be spread to a positive light, because The men that will just take the message at a clip and just run with it aren't going to really succeed anyways. But the ones that are going to succeed will take the message, go deeper, read another book, read another book, read another book, and say, oh, I can connect this, this, and this. Thank you for at least bringing to my attention that I could do this and I could be of value. I don't have to go the normal path, what is told of me. So I really respect the fact that I know where he's going. I know that that is his objective, and you have to have a lot of courage. And I respect both, Tristan and Andrew, for the fact that they have enough courage to take the heat and take the, like we talked about earlier, take the hate because he knows how to generate the eyeballs by creating the, catchy things, but he knows the people that will actually benefit from him will go deeper.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about that, though?
I think it's true. I think the things that he says that trigger people is what's getting him views, and that's what everybody's trying to do, because right now it's all about the quick attention. So if he can come in and say some crazy stuff, even if he gets people angry, they'll share it with someone and whatever. And sometimes people will pretend to be angry, but they're listening. Oh yeah, I hate that guy, but they'll watch the video and be like, oh shit, but I know he's talking about something that's actually of value to me. So I think that's all,
Yeah, and that's it's actually funny that that you say that, because we had a guest on here 3 days ago. His name is Josh, and he actually went viral on TikTok because he said something that offended,
What did he say? I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know.
About stank pussy.
Yeah, essentially what he was talking about pH levels. So he made like there was like a song. You know how on TikTok they go based off like sounds. He basically made a sound, and it was a sound that he reacted to, and basically was talking about women who they don't smell too good down there. And women went off and shared it. They got offended. They shared it with all these people, and went viral, and people of course were coming for him. But he got a lot of attention from that, and he's a very successful guy. Not just because of that, but that helps people a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of courage to actually say something that is offending to the other, or just in general. But you have to have enough confidence in the fact that whatever you are, like, if you're just doing it just for like, I'm just doing it to just get attention, then you're just stroking your own ego. But if you, at the end of the day, you're like, all right, I know I have a message that I want to, give out to the world, and the more people I can help. I struggle with this because like I need to get better at being polarizing to get people in, because I think I have some knowledge to give to younger guys that I could help. But sometimes it's tough to be so polarizing, because you do have to get a lot of slack and a lot of hate from the the people that aren't going to even listen to what you actually have to say beyond that little clip.
And here's the thing that I think the reason why Andrew exploded, because I was lucky enough to meet him. I think that him, just like Jordan Peterson, they're talking about something that we're not used to really hearing. They're talking about being responsible. They're talking about men actually, like, because like men, I hate to say it, but society's kind of weakened us.
Absolutely.
And so, here you go. Here you have him and Jordan Peterson saying, hey man, it's not okay to be a bum. It's not okay to sit at home and watch or play Xbox. And guys, a lot of people are growing up without fathers. So these guys are almost like father figures to a lot of these young men. And that's their clients right there. That's their customer base.
Well, yeah, like I was saying before, like a father should toughen you up. Like the job of a father should be to toughen you up so you have the confidence to go out into the world and actually manifest what you actually desire, right? And if you don't have that father figure, I give the example, like my father was an alcoholic growing up, so in my kind of formative years he was a little absent at times. Eventually he sobered up and became a really good mentor to me, but during that time when I got fired from my job, my mom, I lived with my mom mostly, and I was kind of soft, like she was still, I said earlier, she was, literally doing my laundry. She was taking care of me. She would call my doctor's appointments. She was doing the things that a mother thinks is good, right? Because she just wants to take care of you. She wants to make sure that her baby is safe, right?
Right.
And that's good, but it's not, because I was weak.
Yeah.
Right. I was weak for the real world.
Yeah.
And when I was forced out and to knock on the doors and figure out if I'm a man, it was so hard because even though my mom loved me and she was doing the best that she knew was best for me, I didn't have the same toughness that maybe I could have had if my dad was around the same amount of time. That would have forced me to become a better man, to become a character, a person of character that would feel confident in himself to do these type of things. I had enough chip on my shoulder to prove my dad at this point that I could do it, that I had to go through that difficult time. But like the society needs the both, right? Like we need the yin and the yang. Like that is the feminine, this is the masculine. It's not one that's good or bad. It is, we need both. And if you do not have both, you can be either too much hardened, right? Or you can be too softened.
Absolutely.
So there needs to be like a balance.
For sure. And that's what society's telling us, is like, we all need to be equal and we all need to be the same. It's like, well, what fun is that? And like and earlier in the podcast, I was talking about, that when I went to Egypt and they were speaking about the duality of life in every aspect of the world. That's all, like they continuously wrote about it, they continuously talked about it. And that is the feminine, that is the masculine. These are the things that we need to make life great. And to be neither is nothing, right? There is no black and white. There is a mesh, and to have a combination of both together is what makes life beautiful. And to say that men should be more feminine and women should be more masculine, it's not that it's good or bad. It's just like, it's just not natural to who we are. It's just, we need the yin and the yang.
Yeah, agreed. Natty Bay says, what's the best advice you guys would give your kids to become successful?
The best advice I would give my kids to become successful is work your ass off. Work really hard. Work as hard as you can, and then keep working hard after you think you can't work anymore. Just work hard at what
for
you
both
do.
Boys and girls?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's it's hard work to be a strong woman.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's maybe not the same type of work, but it's definitely work to have people perceive you a certain way, keep yourself together a certain way, come off a certain way. It takes work. And I think especially like now that everybody wants everything so easy. And when I have kids, I don't have any kids yet, but it's going to be even worse. We're going to be all just like floating around ordering things in our face. And that's crazy because you lose that grit and you lose that human element, the softer and the easier that everything gets. I mean, things can't be easier now. We're still complaining.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we have it pretty easy. And that's coming from a woman who, you have multiple businesses too, right? Yeah. So
we have another question. Alexander asked, my question to the guest on the left, what is your take on feminism? Has it improved the family unit or destroyed it?
I think that's for you.
For me,
didn't help my family unit.
No. Listen, I think feminism, okay, it definitely destroyed it. I think at the end of the whole feminist battle thing, those, and not all of them, but all the girls that say that they're feminists and all this and that, they still want to be taken care of. Okay. It's in our nature. And I think that letting people play their role in a family unit, it's healthy. It's healthy for a male to lead certain things. It's healthy for a female to lead certain things. Everybody has to play their part. But that feminism to me just sounds like, let's make everybody be on the same line. And it's like what you were saying. Nothing is anything without the contrast. So if everything is the same, that's not good for our kids. Imagine growing up, if you had a strong father figure, right? Imagine growing up with your dad wanting to be more like your mom. That would be kind of strange. You know what I mean? Or your mom wanting to be more like your dad.
Yeah.
That would be kind of weird. So I think that we need a little bit of both, and that feminism, it just went too far. Like, yes, we need to be represented. Yes, we needed to vote. Okay, we did it. We needed to drive. Okay, we did it. We needed to have jobs. Okay, we have jobs. Okay, that's it. Do we need to get paid the same? Do we do the same amount of work? Do we do the same level of exertion? Do we do, so there's here and there.
It's not black and white. Right?
It's not. And it's the same the other way too, because maybe you won't make as much money on OnlyFans as I will.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And like, okay, cool. Like men's bathrooms don't have baby diaper changing stations. Why are we not fighting about that? So it's just like, you can't be so much either way. But I think that the way that feminism is now, it's definitely not a good thing.
Do you think women having jobs, it has affected society though, in a bad way?
I don't think so. I don't think it's bad for women to contribute. I think, inflation and all that stuff,
Yeah,
things have gotten more expensive. Women can, okay, yeah, cool. I think having a dual income household is great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think there's a lot of times that women are more successful than, their partner or whatever, however their dynamic is. I don't know. But
Do you think that works?
I think it can get complicated. It depends on the guy.
You think majority of women are happy having to work?
Probably not the majority.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between feeling like you have to work and wanting to work. Because for me,
So you
for
want that
example,
option.
right. But also, like, for me, the things that I do, I love to do. And I'm the type of person, like, if I'm not working, I'm not thriving. I'm not happy.
I asked that question because when women got the choice to vote, or the option to finally vote, 80% of women actually didn't want to vote because they didn't want to be part of the draft. They didn't want to have to work. They wanted to stay home. Like, they didn't want to have to.
Well, because that's what they were used to, just being like the wife, and I understand. I understand that was their culture. But I don't think it was all bad. I definitely don't think it was all good. And I don't think I think less of it is good now, to be honest. I think we just need to, and it's crazy because I don't know which way it's going to go. People say it's like cyclical and it's all going to come back down and whatever. I don't know, but I don't know how much further we're going to go.
I think we're going to keep going, and then
until where, we're going to explode.
Genders start changing.
We already did that.
Yeah, but it's going to get worse. It's going to keep getting worse.
How can it get any worse? I mean, I know, but that's just how I think, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it can always get worse.
I don't know. Like, I think the majority is not in that realm, right? Like,
I agree with that.
I think the small minority is very loud.
Exactly.
Right? And they polarize things, and same thing. They polarize it to a sense, like, we talk about it, but like, I talk to a lot of people constantly every single day in many different, realms of the world, and majority of people kind of still have the same kind of outlook on life. And yeah, of course you're going to have outliers here and there on certain aspects, but yes, of course they're going to get the most attention. So we start thinking about it. So like when people, like, I don't know, I don't really get too deep into it because it's like, is it affecting my life? Because if it's not, like, can I control it? Then why am I even wasting any of my energy and time thinking about it? My energy can be spent on so many better things. And if it does, like, that's one of the things that I teach. I'm like, if you can't control it, your energy should not be focused on it.
Yeah.
At all.
I agree.
And Anwar, I just sent you something on Telegram that has to do with the subject. I don't do you have time to play it real quick?
Yeah, let me bring it up real quick.
All right, yeah. And the reason why I wanted to play this video is because, ironically enough, it was just random. It was like 2 a.m. Yesterday when we started talking about Andrew Tate, and his brother actually covered this. And it was about feminine women. Okay, I'll let you put it up when you're ready, bro.
1 second.
But yeah, this video right here, it really hit me hard. I think it's muted, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm not ready yet. Give me 1 second.
And you guys let me know what you think about this video after you watch it. So that was actually something that literally I was walking last night and I randomly sent it to him. And now that we're kind of on that subject, I wanted to get your opinions on that. I mean, this lady used to think that men had it so easy, so she disguised herself as a man just to find out that it was actually horrible, ended up taking her life.
I think it's a really like narrow-minded perspective to think that because you're a different gender, you have it easier than the other one. Because number one, it's all part of the human experience. Okay. Everybody has their different trials and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, I always say this, every mind and every person is a whole entire universe. You never know what anybody's going through, what the challenges they're facing. And especially you see it a lot in society it's competitive for everybody, whatever. I feel like I have to say that so that nobody gets offended, whatever.
Mhm.
But men, the higher up they go, the more successful they are, the more expectation they have to meet. Okay, the harder they have to keep working. The way that women have to look a certain way and act a certain way, whatever, it's hard. Okay, it's the same thing for men, just different things.
Mhm.
Everybody has different things that they need to, different pressures, different things that they need to do every single day. If I think of myself as somebody that had to be the head of a household, making every single decision,
Mhm.
making sure my kids were grounded in who they are, respected the family, guiding us towards like end of the world. I have to make sure everything is like we have a go bag, we have guns, and we have food, and we have this, and hunting animals, all these different things that men have done like forever, right?
Right.
Being a man is pretty hard. Not that being a woman is not hard, okay?
Yeah, but-
Relax.
but
What's hard
but
about
when-
being a woman?
What's hard about being a woman? Just like, the normal stuff, pressure, expectation, the way you have to look, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's as hard, but it's something that women have to deal with and they feel a lot.
But when it comes to women, would you say that it's mostly all looks?
I would say a lot of it is looks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
social pressure.
But
A lot of
and
it.
I mean, so like for most women, I mean, most women are beautiful, right?
Well,
But so the ugly ones can't do anything about it.
no, but here's the thing. It's not just about being ugly or being pretty, right? It's about comparing yourself to other people, and especially now, like constantly seeing what the world expects you to be. And there is a certain demographic of
Mhm.
people that will never be Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
No matter what they do, it doesn't matter.
Is it possible that women actually have it hard? Because if you think about it, right, an ugly woman is gonna be ugly forever, but a guy can actually work his ass off to become successful.
That's
But
true.
an ugly woman can never. I mean,
Well,
unless she does like surgery
That's
or
what I was
stuff
gonna
like
say.
that.
There's a lot of that, but it's true because
For women, their beauty is their currency,
I agree.
right?
It is hard. It is, and I think that's a lot of what puts women in that weakened mindset
Mhm.
when they feel like there's nothing they can do about it.
I think the challenge with women and the reason why it's difficult to be a woman is because society makes it difficult for them to be a woman, right? Like genuinely, it makes it difficult for a woman to be a woman because they set expectations of things that men actually don't give a fuck about.
Yes,
True.
that's very true.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they're telling you things that you should be worrying about that we don't care.
Absolutely.
We don't care about any of that. Like we just want you to be beautiful and be peaceful and just give us a life that we want to live with you.
Yeah.
Right. And like just be our rock.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's all we care about.
That's all.
Like when you say ugly woman, like that ugly woman, if she takes care of you and she makes you feel good and she takes care of herself, right? Like she will find a good man. I promise you that.
I agree.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like they're telling you to do the wrong shit. That's why it's difficult for
Yeah.
a woman.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, that's why.
Yeah.
Would you date that woman?
He probably would not.
I mean, it depends. I mean, what's ugly? Like ugly is subjective, right?
So-
No, that's very true.
If she,
Yeah, that's
if she
true.
takes care of herself, she's got nice skin. She
Yeah,
does
yeah.
some like.
No, that's very
I think Andrew says it's like
Yeah.
as a woman, like if you take care of yourself, you work out
Yeah.
every day,
Right.
do your hair up, you put makeup on, you put nice nails on. Like,
Yeah.
how can you be really ugly?
Right,
Like,
right.
you really
Yeah,
can't be
exactly,
ugly.
exactly.
That's true.
You know what
If
I
you're
mean?
taking care of yourself, like you can't. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like-
very hard.
Yeah, you're fit. Like you're fit. You wash yourself. You have nice skin.
You
like
wash
you smell. You smell nice.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What? Like how
Yeah.
can you be ugly?
Yeah,
Like I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen like.
That yeah,
oh, you have
women smelling good is a big thing too.
100%.
But as far as the video, man, it's kind of it's sad when you when you realize that this woman, at one point thought that men had it easy, converts herself into looking into a guy, and then was shocked at the fact that the women were treating her like shit.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's really surprising to me. And I don't know if that was the reason why she took her life. I mean, we'll never know. But
I have a question about
Yeah.
that then. Do you think as a woman, most women realize that most men are just insignificant in their in their view? Like, like most men like don't even exist to most women. Like they just don't even see them.
No, they don't realize that.
You think just most
No,
women
they
even
don't.
realize
They have no idea. I think that they become so obsessed with what they think they need to be to attract whoever, all men or this specific demographic of man or whatever, that they don't realize that there's so many men that they're not even noticing.
Yeah.
It happens. For
and they're all going for the same top,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
what, like 10%, right?
Absolutely they are.
And then they're like, oh, but the top 10%, he wants
Yeah.
me and my two girls.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
So most
top
women have
10%
to
right here.
settle now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, good for you. It seems like your boyfriend has a good one on his hands. So
Okay.
he's
You
winning.
don't have any male friends.
I don't.
Okay, I thought you were about to say yes, I do.
Is
I
that-
don't have
Like,
any
I
male
was gonna say
friends.
red with those,
Red flags.
no red flags all night. No,
Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah,
No,
you're
you're
right
good.
here, I was
is,
like,
is that
damn.
by choice?
It is by choice.
Like, he never had
Because-
to tell you that. He was like, oh.
No. Okay, listen. I am not dumb. Okay.
Hmm.
I am cute and I have been for a long time.
Huh.
And anytime that you have male friends, you put yourself in a situation
Mhm.
where you're gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's happened to me and it's happened to all my friends.
Mm.
I have conversations about this with all of my friends.
Mhm.
I don't give my number out. I just don't. I have social media and that's a whole other thing.
Mhm.
But there's no, I don't keep male company. I don't go hang
Yeah.
out with male friends. I don't go have dinner with men alone.
Mhm.
For what?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And if your guy like told you get rid of Instagram, you would get rid of it.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
you probably have a very healthy relationship because of
W
that.
girlfriend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though like you run businesses though.
Yeah, but I don't run my businesses through my
Oh, you don't- you
Instagram.
don't?
Yeah.
No, my Instagram is just me, my fitness, and my thing. I like it. It's fun, whatever. If my boyfriend tomorrow was like, you need to delete your Instagram or this is over, my Instagram is gone. What the hell do I care?
Yeah.
That's
But
ridiculous.
when you start having this mindset?
I'm telling you, it's only been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think this at all in my early 20s.
So
At all.
how can what suggestion would you have for young men to be able to talk to their woman appropriately, to communicate them, to kind of say it in a proper way?
Okay, there's no proper way to say it, especially if you have a strong-minded woman. She's not gonna hear what you're saying. The first time you say it, she's gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Absolutely not. You're not gonna talk to me like that. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Mhm.
Keep saying it.
Okay.
Just keep saying it. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be. It doesn't matter how you come about it. She's not gonna like it. But if you have somebody that's intelligent and aware, she'll realize it on her own. And the next time you have the conversation, be like, "Yeah, I can see that,"
Mhm.
and that's it.
But also be a man that's worthy of
Absolutely.
company,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
You need to earn it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I
if
mean?
you're a bum, you know.
No, you can't say
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
If your
Like,
girl
nah.
works and you play Xbox all day, I
Yeah,
dare you.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah, right.
quote some Andrew Tate, okay? No.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And that's the thing. But Andrew also speaks about that. He says that you have to be deserving of that.
Right.
Mhm.
You can't just demand that stuff from a woman if you're not deserving.
And I think it's the same way that women can't just demand like 6 figures, 6'2", and all that
That's
stuff.
not true though.
What do you
They
mean?
think that though.
I mean, I think the wealthy men know it, but like the women still demand that. Especially here in Miami,
What I'm saying is that they shouldn't
shouldn't,
just demand that.
right?
Right.
But they do,
Of course they do.
right?
Of course they do.
But,
because-
but at the end of the day, like, this is what's sad, because I think there was a study that said like by like 2030, I think it was like 45 or I think maybe 50% of women over the age of 25 are going to be single.
Yeah,
It's like, what? Like, and without kids,
Mhm.
because they're going down a path that they're all obviously, they want the best, right?
Mhm.
Like everybody wants the best.
Yeah.
But the delusion that they just deserve it without actually understanding what is required of that type of, relationship. Then what happens is, well, now you're now out of the desirable marketplace for that type of man at
Agreed.
a certain age.
Yeah.
Right. And eventually, well, you will just keep getting,
yeah, you keep getting further.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
of
Yeah.
course.
yeah,
And that's why birth rates are also going down.
Yeah.
But you also got to put that on the men. 80% of men don't get laid.
yeah. Agreed.
They're not putting the work in that is needed to get these women.
Yeah.
Agreed. Natty Bay says, "Where did y'all find this woman? Cause I need someone like her, bro."
Hey, yeah.
Do you have any sisters?
I have a sister. She's 14. So
Oh,
yeah.
Hey,
no,
hey,
don't
hey,
even bring
hey,
that up.
hey,
Yeah, don't
yeah.
even bring that up.
You have to wait like 7 years,
Yeah, keep
homie.
waiting.
Nah, don't even
But you
wait.
might-
Fuck
yeah,
that.
No,
you
No
might
she's
way.
not.
That'd be
She's,
great.
No way. Yeah, don't be like that. Nah.
If you're young, start working. Don't
Yeah,
even think
yeah.
about
yeah,
it.
work
Yeah,
on it.
And yeah, that's good advice for like the young guys that watch this type of stuff. Is just work hard, man. Because like when I was younger, I wasn't focused on the future.
No.
I was just like, hey, let me focus on now. Let me try to find a good girl now. If you work your ass off, by the time you're 21, 25, the right girl will be waiting for you
Mhm.
if you just like do what you have to do.
Yeah.
But I think especially the younger generation, fatherless generations,
Mhm.
we're always looking for someone to fill that void in. And unfortunately, it's always the opposite sex. Sometimes it's the same sex, but
Right.
Well, and it's sad too, because I think Andrew talks about this too. And I think he said it's like the pain when a man gets broken up with or breaks up with a girl in his early 20s, even teenage years, is much more painful for the man because he has less options, right? So a woman, if you're a beautiful woman at 18, like as soon as somebody breaks up with you, you got 20 DMs, and you could be in Dubai or wherever, right? But as a man at 18 years old, if this girl that you were in love with is a beautiful girl, and then you see her on a yacht in Miami next week,
Done.
you're like, damn, I'm in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and I got no money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
that hurts
tough.
a lot more.
But I think long term, the woman suffers more off of that than the guy does.
For sure.
Absolutely.
If exactly, if they keep going down that path.
Yep, which is very easy to do,
It's for sure.
especially here.
Oh, without
And
a
it
doubt.
depends on.
Miami's crazy.
It's insane.
Miami is crazy.
I was talking about that earlier with the girls. Like, it's crazy how young the girls are starting now to live that lifestyle. Really young, and like, I don't know. Maybe I'm like was sheltered. I was not sheltered, but I just never chose that. And it's crazy to me to see how different my life is compared to some of the people that I knew that went down that.
Cool.
Hey, personally, Eric, you know me.
Yeah.
So, and my boy Money Matt here was talking about earlier. He made an investment on a girl in his 20s to stick with her and et cetera, et cetera. Is that something you think I should do?
No,
I shouldn't do that.
I mean, for it's different from everybody though. Like that's why one of my main questions to him earlier was she beneficial to your success?
Yeah.
And I think you said yes.
She was. The reason why I said she was beneficial was twofold. You need a feminine energy, without a doubt.
Okay,
especially in the 20s. And when you're in your 20s, I mean, like you're a pervert.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you're just out there, and if you're focusing your energy on anything other than just being a better man, and you're just chasing tail around all the time, you're gonna end up not getting the things that you want.
Yeah.
Right. So she was a very beneficial piece in my life in the fact that I had at least knowing that I had this beautiful woman at home, and there's a lot of men that don't have that.
But realistically speaking, you probably got lucky. Most women at that age aren't going to be beneficial. I mean,
she was a good girl. Yeah.
How old were you? 20?
We started dating when I was 20.
Oh,
20. Yeah.
20. So then imagine like a 20-year-old woman, especially here in Miami. I could be wrong.
I was gonna say
she's gonna be demanding of your time. You're gonna have to pay for her stuff. Bro,
but I think it is different though. Like obviously depending upon where you're at, like Miami, you're probably not going to find a 20-year-old, that's going to date. I mean, it's a small percentage, but like I was from a small town, and most people in most small towns that they're maybe watching this, like, there's a good girl.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You got a good one.
Don't let her get on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Don't let her post.
She's gonna get corrupted.
She's a beautiful girl. Like it's tough.
Personally, I guess, and also I'm a little biased because I'm going off my experiences.
Yeah.
I would, because he's still so young, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, just focus on you, because then here's the thing, you can only benefit from that.
Exactly, but you got to think, bro, you know how many girls,
Yeah, I know.
So for me, it's like I am getting a little lost in the sauce.
Yeah, and I see
I'm
that.
Young, I'm having all these options. It's like, damn, like
we had a conversation recently.
Yeah,
where I sat down and I was like, hey, let's focus. Let's not get distracted, because the girls you're getting, they're cute. But the girls you really want, they come after that hard work. You know what I mean? So it goes back to what I said. Just keep your head down and work, and eventually that right girl is going to be there waiting for you.
The reason why I say that, it's very easy to say in practice. It's difficult in reality, because if you're a young guy,
oh yeah, for sure,
and you're not getting any feminine energy in your life, let's just say, right, you need it some way, right? And if it's not, like, that's why I said, I feel not bad, but like we had a good relationship, but I always knew it was never going to be like, she was never going to be my wife. So it was almost like I kind of used her but we benefited mutually, hopefully, right? In some way, that I used her for the fact that I knew that I needed that energy around me. Yeah. But I also knew that it was keeping me away from doing other shit that was not going to help me, in the sense, like,
so
if I was single, I just knew if I was single, I would have been just
for sure.
I feel like
chasing everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it would have not helped me get closer to my goal. Yeah. That's what I was telling.
But you sacrificed a lot of your time and years though off of that, because you wanted that feminine energy, right?
But I was gonna sacrifice that time anyways.
Yeah, I know. But so my advice to him would be, just don't get tied down,
Yeah.
you know.
I
But
get
but then also don't run around.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you know, if you have,
like, we don't go to the clubs, all the girls are coming to me, so it's like,
yeah. But that's
You know
what I
what I'm
mean.
saying?
It's like,
Like-
He's like, what am I supposed to
yeah,
do?
like, what am I
But-
supposed to do? Like,
It's tough.
Dude.
He's 20 years old.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
And
mean?
I
like
get it,
I'm in
and
a very lucky position right now.
and then
for-
also like the age is a huge factor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like,
Just
yo-
don't do anything stupid.
yeah, you'll
Yeah.
think 5 years from now, you could either be living your best life, or you can sit here and be like, oh, well, I was chasing all these girls, I wasted 5 years of my time.
yeah.
But I don't necessarily think you also have to be in a relationship to get there.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it as a
Yeah.
justification.
I think he's
for
he
my
was
life.
just I think he's one of those exceptions where like he just happened to have a good girl. You know, you find those sometimes, and
And I wasn't in Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Miami, yeah.
and then
Miami's hard as
if
fuck.
you find that type of woman, you have to keep her. You know, but a lot of times those type of women also aren't gonna accept the type of lifestyle that he was dreaming about. You know,
Correct.
so
Yeah, and then I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, my
No,
preference is this, so I'm getting that.
Exactly.
Like, nah.
yeah. So yeah, guys, great conversation today, man. Any closing statements from you guys before we go?
I thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, Matt, thanks so much, man.
man,
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys having me.
We actually have a couple more questions. If you
Okay.
want.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Go ahead, read them, bro.
Pop 'em.
Natty Base asked, actually, let's scroll up a little bit. David Jones asked, do you believe Drake sets men up to be too feminine?
What do you guys think about that?
I don't know.
They probably don't
I
even.
don't even
listen.
think like who
They don't even.
cares?
They
Who
don't
gives a
even.
shit?
Yeah,
They don't
okay.
even.
Yeah.
they
Drake
don't-
is great. I mean, I like his
I don't
music,
know.
but who cares? Don't take it that seriously.
Well,
It's his
yeah,
music.
if you're a man, like don't be a bitch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just not like, come on, don't give into some excuse of like, oh, this guy was singing, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
feminine. Not just be
Whatever.
a man. Just shut up.
All right, Natty Base asks, what's the best advice you guys would tell your kids to become successful?
I think we already.
Yeah,
touched
I
on it.
I didn't answer it.
Yeah.
Let me answer real quick.
Well, what would you answer to that?
Yeah, I didn't answer it. So I would just say, if you make promises, keep promises.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and
We talked about
most
that.
importantly to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because if you make a promise to yourself and you keep doing the things that you say you're going to do, you will be successful. That's it.
Yeah.
Bar none. Just do what you say you're going to do. As a man, everybody will respect you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and we were talking about this downstairs. Everybody that has come in through him, that he knows through the war room, you know, very successful guys. You guys are always on time, and you guys always come with that heat. So, and you talked about it downstairs. You said how important it is to keep your word. You
Yeah.
said you were going to be here, and you were here. So,
Yeah. I mean, he connected. He said, hey, you want to run through? I'm like, all right, bet. And if I say something, it's happening.
mhm.
Mhm.
It's done.
Hey, and if you do that with women too, they love that shit.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I think that the promises that you keep to yourself build your confidence
Number
as
one.
well.
He said that downstairs.
Absolutely. That's how you build confidence. Make a promise to yourself and do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel
And
great.
I always tell guys, like, don't start extreme.
Mhm.
Like,
No.
if you haven't been to the gym in 20 years and all of a sudden
Absolutely.
you're like, I'm going to go to the gym 2 days, 2 times a day for the next year
At 5 in the morning.
at 5 a.m. and then you break the promise and then you lose the confidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Start small. Like, if you say, like, for instance, I started at this, like, I wasn't perfect. Like, I was not clean when I was growing up. I was disorganized, and I was like, I don't like the way that I am.
Mhm.
So I'm going to change this. And you know what I started with? I said, you know what, Matt? I don't want to be a person that wears my shoes in my house. And I was like, all right, take your damn shoes off when you get in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And I started to build some confidence because every time I walked into the house, I took my shoes off. And then I got a little bit more confidence. And I did something else. And I kept doing the things that I said I was going to do. And it built up. So now anything that I say, I know I'm going to do. It
Mhm.
does not fucking matter. But it has to start small. And you build on it. So,
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
We got a couple more questions. Urameshi asked, Unfiltered Podcast, Matt has spoken about his father's past. Was he able to forgive his father for those early years? And what was that process like?
yeah, definitely. So I 100% forgave my father. And I understand why he was the way he was, and he wasn't taught the things that we are taught now. And he had 3 kids by the age of 25, and
Wow.
he had a lot of responsibility. And at one point, it just became too much, and he went to booze and partying and other things to kind of ease the pain of not feeling of control over his life and having to provide and protect and do all these things. And it got out of control at some point. And later on in life, he sobered up, and I tell the tale of 2 fathers, right? So, like, my first 15 years of my life, my dad was kind of an alcoholic that just was kind of chaotic and crazy and just wasn't very reliable. But then in my later years, he sobered up after my parents split, sobered up and went down this path and became a really great mentor to me and became an advocate in the AA community and basically gave back. So he was one of my biggest mentors. And 5 years ago, he was tragically killed on a motorcycle.
I'm so sorry.
So this is why at that point this is where like it kind of transitioned in my life. We didn't go too deep in my story, but when I was 29, I was already a millionaire. I had all the success that I wanted to achieve, but I was so unhappy. I was just miserable every day because I was just so angry at the world. And then my father passed and I go, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I just fighting and not enjoying myself when in an instant I could lose it all? And that's when I said, the journey is twofold. The first journey of the man is to gain value and provide value and to become valuable to the marketplace and to be of value to your other humans, right? But the second part is to give back and is to provide, is to mentor, is to be the mentor to the apprentice now. So that started the journey of where I'm at now.
That's amazing.
Yes, I forgot.
All right,
Good
one
job.
final question. Alexander asks, in the Western world, marriage rates are sharply dropping and birth rates have plummeted to the point of populations now dying. Why is this happening? We kind of touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
Didn't we just reach
Modern
8
society.
billion people though? How is that so?
Yeah, I mean, the population rates are like pretty much negative, which means that more people are dying than are being birthed at this point.
So it's like projected.
Yeah.
Keep going down slowly.
I think it's because of social media.
Can I ask you a question, Matt? You touched on your father. We had another person come on, actually a war room member, Josh. He said a man doesn't become a boy through a man until his father passes. Did you feel that way?
I think that there's some truth to that for sure. And I always wanted to be the man because you have to look at it like this. And I tell men this that have not lost their father, be the man that people look to when your father passes. And I was that man. And that was probably the strongest, most impactful thing that made me feel confident who I was as a man, because I'm the youngest child. I have an older brother and an older sister. But when my father passed, because I went down this path of becoming who I wanted to become, they looked to me and they asked for my guidance along that very difficult time. And if you're a man, you want to be the man that people come to when difficult things happen.
Absolutely.
That is the goal of a man.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe that the time will come when you need to be the man at your father's funeral. So
Yeah.
if you can think of that, that should be the pull to be better than right now, wherever you're at. If it's not, then I can't help you.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Wow. Got
That
deep
was
in here.
intense. Yeah. That's
Sorry.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Your thoughts on that?
I was just thinking the whole time you were talking about forgiveness, because I think a lot of us, and of course I'm generalizing because that's what we do, but a lot of people have troubled family relationships. We all go through like rough patches with our mom or our dad or whatever. But I always like to think, and this is what I tell my friends all the time, think about your parents as you. What would you do at their age, let's say in a bad relationship with 2 kids, or with that drinking habit that you can't kick because you have 3 kids, or not being able to make ends meet because you're a single mom. Like, think of yourself and think like this: they did the best they could with what they had in that moment, and maybe it's not as good as you now because you're here and you have other resources and different things. But that always helps me when I think about forgiveness, because of course I have a story, everybody does.
Yeah.
So you think about it like that, and it's all of a sudden easier. Like, man, what would I do in that situation? What would I do in that relationship? What would I do if I was like in an abusive situation? You never know. So when we start thinking of our parents and our family and whoever we're trying to forgive as a person and as ourselves, it becomes a little easier. So I was just thinking of that when you were talking.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you guys again for sharing. Anwar, you want to finish off with any comments?
Yeah, we got a lot of comments. Just all good comments. Actually, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, they're in love with you guys.
Oh, yay.
So
Money
David
Matt.
Jones says,
Hey, I still can't say it.
Go Money
guys-
Matt.
You guys can say it.
David Jones says the female guest is engaged and conversing well with the guys. Natty Base says, "Damn, I didn't know Basil got the guest from the war room. Respect." Well, that's about it. I mean, I guess.
Guys, any closing statements from you guys before we go?
No, I mean, I think this was great. You know, it's cool to just be able to have a conversation instead of having weird perspectives and people fighting for attention. Just to have a conversation and hear people out. And I think the most important thing to take from this conversation that we had is just like work hard, be your authentic self, communicate well with the people that you care about, and move forward.
Yeah.
Do what
Don't
you do.
think for yourself, right? Like
Absolutely.
just because somebody on, a podcast that you heard said something doesn't mean that's how you have to live.
No, absolutely not.
Your life can be however you want it to be.
Mhm.
Just be respectful. Be respectful to yourself. Care about the people that you care about and treat them well, and life will be good.
Yeah.
Keep the promises that you make.
Yeah. Thanks to both the guests for coming today. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for coming for the daytime show. Also,
If you haven't listened, go check it out.
yeah, go check it out, guys. Thanks for flying in too. Basil, any closing statements from you?
7-Figure Friday was lit. This is our first one. Thank you for coming. Like he said, it was very knowledgeable. I gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from you. Even after the show, we sat there for like a couple hours and talking. So thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate having me.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on Monday for the daytime show. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.